Right now, your marriage is falling apart. Your wife has no respect for you. She's distant, cold, and everything turns into an argument. Or worse, silence. You feel stuck, like no matter what you do, you can't win. And you're asking yourself, what the hell am I doing wrong? Now, I know exactly what that feels like because I was there. And if you don't wake up, if you don't break out of the cycle, you already know where this ends: divorce, loneliness, regret. But before we can talk about a way out, we need to get brutally honest about how we got here in the first place. See, a few years ago, I thought I was doing everything right. I worked hard, I provided, I wasn't out screwing around, but my marriage was still falling apart. No matter what I did, it was never enough. So I did what every nice guy does. I tried harder. I walked on eggshells. I became more agreeable. I tried to talk things out, do more chores, even buy gifts. But nothing worked. If anything, it got worse. What I didn't realize then, but I see clearly now, is that I was trapped in the pit of poverty. And like most men, I couldn't even see it. And this is what the pit of poverty looks like. This is the pit. This is you. This was me in the pit, right? This is the cycle of lies, avoidance, fear, people pleasing that keeps you weak, lies keeping you stuck. If I'm just nice enough, she'll respect me. She'll come back if I just keep proving myself, right? Avoidance is you shutting down, numbing out, and hoping things fix themselves. But here's the truth. Hope is not a strategy. And until you wake up and see the pit for what it is, you will stay stuck. Your marriage will stay stuck, and your life will stay stuck. And maybe you've tried to change. You started reading self-help books, trying new date nights, or going to therapy, but deep down, nothing actually changes. And that's because change is what most men settle for, right? It's surface level. And this is what it looks like. We're going to talk about the difference between change and transformation. Right? Okay, so change is basically you start off as a triangle, right? That's you. And then you read some new self-help book. So that new self-help book gives you a new tip, maybe a new marriage tip. You rotate the triangle. And that doesn't seem to work. So now you go read some things on YouTube or watch a podcast and something. Oh, what if I try this, right? Still a triangle. You rotate it again. Still the triangle. You can rotate this thing a million different ways, but at the end of the day, a triangle is still a triangle. You realize that the more you change, the more you stay the same. And that's the difference between change and transformation. Transformation means you're still starting off as a triangle, but you change the man that you are fundamentally. So instead of moving the triangle up and down 90 degrees, you change the triangle into a circle. You change the circle into a square, and that square into a star. You're no longer just slightly changing who you are as a core. Outside changes. You're now changing the man you are on the inside. And that is what's called as transformation. But then what is transformation? Well, to understand what transformation is, let's move that over here. Transformation is truth. At the core level of transformation, it's truth. The reason why change doesn't work is because doesn't have a foundation of truth. It's based on lies. We're not changing the actual problem within us because we're not willing to admit what the actual problem is. And so we never transform into that man. Have you ever seen someone who fundamentally changes their belief system? They become a brand new man, right? An atheist that I was just watching the other day, they set out to prove the existence of God is false. And then through their learnings, they came at it with an open mind. At the end of this whole investigation, they're like, I'm the biggest Christian ever now. I set out to prove it doesn't exist, and I was proved that it does exist. The difference in those two men, whether you believe in God or not, is irrelevant, but the difference in who the guy was versus who he became was fundamentally changed. Correction, was fundamentally transformed. So that's what that is. Now, so the base of transformation is truth. But how do we get to truth? Well, who is the author of truth? Who is the author of transformation? The answer lies right in the middle, and that is God. God is the author of all truth, of all transformation. Whoever your higher power is. For me, it's God. For you, it's whatever it is that's outside of you that gets you going here. And the wonderful thing about this is that when you transform, you become a man who no longer tolerates weakness, a man who commands respect instead of chasing it. And so here's where most men get stuck in this idea. They're living inside of a frame that they don't even know exists. So let's map out what this frame actually looks like. Imagine a picture frame. We got laws, we have rules, we have beliefs, and we have stories inside of this frame, right? Frame A, that's where we're beginning. I don't know how to do a W. So at the bottom here, we have laws, the subconscious programming that's running our life, right? A real man never gets angry. Happy wife, happy life, right? At the top, we have rules, the unspoken rules that you live by. I have to keep her happy no matter what. On the left-hand side, we have beliefs, the things you think are true about yourself and your marriage, like she doesn't respect me, so I must not be good enough. And then on the right side, these are the narratives that you tell yourself, the stories. Maybe my marriage isn't just for me, right? Your entire life has been built inside of this frame, and until you break it, you'll never get out of the pit, right? Tony Robbins has this famous quote, change your story, change your life. The story that you tell yourself is what is keeping you stuck. And if you want to change your life, you must first change the story that you believe. Look around. How much longer can you keep living like this? Your marriage is on the brink of collapse. You feel weak, lost, and directionless. Your kids are watching and learning from your example. Will they grow up in a broken home? Or worse, will they know the truth? They know that something is wrong. If you continue this roommate phase of tolerating, they will grow up thinking that marriages are just not worth it if they just keep creating unhappy people, and that will scour them for life. And if you don't break this cycle, your story will not have a happy ending. And that's exactly why I created Vow and Victory, because I was tired of watching good men lose everything because they didn't know how to lead. This is your wake-up call. This is your moment of truth. If you don't take action now, you are choosing to stay in the pit. Click the link below, apply for a call, and let's break this frame wide open. In the next video, we're going to talk about what your life looks like at the peak of prosperity. What happens when you reclaim your power, your respect, and your ability to lead. But before we do that, your first step is to wake up. Take that first step. Click the link below, apply, and let's get on a call.